Hey y'all, the Rocker here, bringing you a new episode of Rock Education finally. But first I'm going to explain why I haven't been doing videos. Well, I've been moving around a lot, haven't had enough time. So yeah, that's why. But alright, like I said, bringing you a new episode of Rock Education today. This is a special request from the Bastard Gamer. He requested that I review the band Blind Guardian. And so, in my infinite nature as a good person, I obliged. Good iced tea. Alright, let's get this review underway. Blind Guardian is a German heavy metal band formed in the mid-1980s in Krefeld, West Germany. They are often credited as one of the seminal and most influential bands in the power metal and speed metal subgenres. Blind Guardian is a part of a German heavy metal scene that emerged in the mid-1980s. The band's lyrics, written by vocalist Hansi Kirsch, are inspired by the fiction of fantasy authors such as J.R.R. Tolkien, Stephen King, and Michael Moorcock. As well as traditional legends and epics. Over the years, a running theme has developed, associating the band members with traveling bards. Pretty cool. Blind Guardian formed in 1984 in Krefeld, West Germany, by Hansi Kirsch and Andre Olbrich, under the name Lucifer's Heritage. The band first released 2 demos in 1985 and 86. Despite undergoing chaotic lineup changes, Marcus Dork and Thomas Stanch were replaced by Christoph Thieben and Hans-Peter Frey, respectively. Finally, in 87, Marcus Siepen joined and Toman came back to form the lineup, which would stay consistent for the next 18 years. After Lucifer's Heritage signed a contract with No Remorse Records, the band changed their name to Blind Guardian to avoid any speculation about Satanism. Quote, in a bio, it stated that they also wanted to distance themselves from the black metal movement, as their demos were placed in with black metal albums at the local record shops. They released their debut album, Battalions of Fear, in '88. Pretty good album. Check it out. Okay. Which was essentially a speed metal album, heavily influenced by Halloween. These 2 German bands had close ties, and Halloween founder Kai Hansen made a guest appearance on Blind Guardian's second LP, Follow the Blind, where the band revealed some thrash metal influence. Their third LP, Tales from the Twilight World, had a much more melodic and epic feeling, with the usage of choir and classical music influence. Okay then. Blind Guardian signed with Virgin Records in 1991, releasing their 4th studio album, Somewhere Far Beyond, in '92, and the live album Tokyo Tales in '93. Flemming Rasmussen, former Metallica producer, began working with the band in '94, producing their 5th studio album, Imaginations from the Other Side, released in '95, and The Forgotten Tales, an album that contained half covers and half original work, released in '96. In '98, Blind Guardian released their epic album, Nightfall in Middle-earth, quote, complete with anthemic choruses, spoken word storylines, and plenty of bombastic power metal punctuating every dramatic turn, end quote, says AllMusic's Vincent Jeffries. Nightfall in Middle-earth is perhaps Blind Guardian's most triumphant album. It's a concept album based on J.R.R. Tolkien's The Silmarillion. Blind Guardian's music demonstrated some rock influence, but also featured heavy use of Queen-style layered backing vocals. Since Nightfall, bass guitar has been played by sessional member Oliver Holsworth, and Hansi has been able to devote all his attention to singing. Nightfall was also the last Blind Guardian album produced by Rasmussen. Good guy, if I might add. Blind Guardian recently participated in the soundtrack for In the Name of the King, a Dungeon Siege Tale fantasy movie directed by Uwe Boll, who is nasty, which came out in '08. It's a decent movie, but could have been better. The band also recorded a theme song for Sacred 2 Fallen Angel RPG video game, the prequel to Sacred. Good song. I got it on my MP3 player. A Voice in the Dark was the next single from Blind Guardian that was released June 25th, 2010. On July 30th, 2010, the album followed, called At the Edge of Time. The band started a tour that would be in 2010-11. Later, they were announced that they would play at the Wacken Open Air. It's awesome in 2011. Blind Guardian's first two albums, Battalions of Fear and Follow the Blind, were more in the style of speed metal than their following works. Beginning with their third album, Tales from the Twilight World, Blind Guardian gradually began to write more complicated compositions focusing less on speed. As with their sixth album, Nightfall and Middle-earth, Hansi stopped playing bass to focus on singing. At this point, the band began to incorporate large amounts of orchestral arrangements and utilizing the technique of overdubbing, heavily influenced by the English rock band Queen. Woo! Blind Guardian's music features the staccato guitars and double bass strumming characteristics of power metal, as well as use of overdubs and numerous backing vocals to create a dense sound. It's pretty damn awesome. This technique, especially notable in the rocking vocal tracks, creates the impression of a vast army of musicians playing in unison and singing in harmony. This proved significant on all albums after the first two, but most particularly on A Night at the Opera. Pretty decent album. Another definitive feature of Blind Guardian music is frequent use of folk tunes and instruments, especially in power ballads such as A Past and Future Secret, Scalds and Shadows, Curse My Name, among many others. Along with John Schaefer, the leader and founder of Iced Earth, Kirsch is a member of Demons and Wizards, where he is the lead singer. Pretty decent band. Check them out. Blind Guardian have been working on and off for 8 years. Okay, gonna resume here finally, I do apologize. Blind Guardian have been working on and off for 8 years on an orchestral project, writing music about Lord of the Rings. Negotiations failed to be included on the famous Lord of the Rings film trilogy as the soundtrack because the band wanted to concentrate on their next album. Although it will not be a power metal album, it will be published under the name Blind Guardian because it matches the theme of the band's lyrics, according to Hansi and Andre. Alrighty then here. This is the lineup. I do apologize if I mangle their names. I'm not that great at pronouncing German names. Hansi Kirsch. Lead vocals, 1984 to present. Bass guitar, 1984.